Yeah. Hello. Hello, good morning. Yeah, good morning to all of you. Uh, Namaskar and welcome to this important celebration of a very historical organization which has been contributing to skill development, vocational training as a part of the overall development agenda ever since India got independence. So it's been functioning since 1952, and it's a very historical moment that today Bharat Sevak Samaj, now known as Central Bharat Sevak Samaj, completes 70 years and has been contributing immensely to various activities, as I said, and today is the 70th anniversary of this organization, coinciding with 75 years of Indian independence. So it's a big moment. Let's give a big hand to all the achievers, all the participants who have come here all the way to represent various centers of BSS and all the dignitary of the dais. Welcome, sir, to this very important occasion. And today we are talking about freedom of a different kind. And it's also freedom from poverty, freedom from being deprived, freedom to do things that we want to do, freedom to be creative, freedom to contribute to the development of the nation. That's what we are going to discuss today. Today is also an important occasion. It is International Youth Day today, and BSS has been a beacon of hope for youth in India for so many years. So with this, I welcome you all once again. I look forward to all your participation today. Throughout the day, there are going to be interesting sessions. There's going to be a lot of learning from all the dignitaries on the dais, and also honoring the participants, the people who have contributed immensely to the journey of BSS over the last 70 years. Thank you.
Good morning, all. Let's start with the blessings of the Almighty. I request all to stand up for the prayer.
Om Tatsa Sri Narayana Tu Purushottama Guru Tu Siddha Buddha Tu Skanda Vinayaka Savida Pavaka Tu Brahma Vastu Tu Yehova Shakti Tu Yeshu Pida Prabhu Tu Rudra Vishnu Tu Rama Krishna Tu Rahima Tao Tu Vasudeva Tu Vishwarupi Tu Chidananda Hari Tu Advadiya Tu Vakala Nirbhaya Atmalinga Shiva Tu Om Tat Sat Sri Narayana Tu Purushottama Guru Tu.
Before you sit, I ask you to just please stand up for a while in remembrance of the departed soul who had made this journey possible for us. A 1-minute silent prayer for them. Thank you so much. Please be seated. So happy to stand in front of you. Before we start, just an insight about BSS. All of you know what the organization is, but still, our journey for the last 7 decades, today we are in the 75th year of independence celebration, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So I just want to reiterate, rather give you a self-realization what the organization has done for the nation. For the nation, actually, growing with the nation, all the Sevaks, that is the Bharat Sevaks had done a commendable role in the progress of the nation in construction and designing India. So I wish a journey forward and from our chief dignitaries today, you will get a good message for going forward with the same pride and prestige, the same zeal and honor we had as a proud Bharat Sevak. Thank you so much. With that, I welcome our Vice Chairman, Central BSS, to do the welcome address. Sir SCG Moisen, sir, please.
Proceed.
Yeah, before we get started with the speeches and the advice and insights from the speakers, I would request dignitaries to stand up for a few minutes and let's light the lamp of wisdom, the lamp of knowledge on this very auspicious occasion of 70 years of BSS.
Everyone should, all the dignitaries together to light the lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Each of them. When I started, no, they don't stop.
Yeah, that's the new light, the new beginnings, and the rejuvenation for the Bharat Sevak Samaj participants, the contributors for all these years. So this is a very symbolic moment and a very important one for that matter in the history of Central Bharat Sevak Samaj.
I'm getting a little bit nervous.
Okay. Now can I start?
Yeah. You said here only, don't go away. Over to you, Moisen, sir, for the welcome address.
Very good morning to all. I'm glad and honored to welcome. You want to be removed? I'm glad and honored to welcome each and every one of you in this renowned event. Conference at national level and a celebration of special occasion of completing 70 glorious years of by Central Bharat Sevak Samaj. I welcome all the dignitaries and guests from different walks of life who have come here to share their knowledge and vast experience with us. First, that our chief mentor, Central Bharat Sevak Samaj, who is educationalist, design management strategist, author, and speaker. He has created over 50 brand identities for Indian industry, including SBI, Hindustan Lever, and Indian Airlines. I welcome Dr. Dorli Uman Koshi. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Please. Please, sir. Sir. Now, come front. Come. Sir. Front. Sir, front, please. Please. Sir. Our Joint Secretary to Government of India, he is actively participating in skill, employment and entrepreneurship department and industries and commerce department and public enterprises. Also, he was very actively in Act East policy affairs. I welcome K.K. Trivedi IAS. Then our Minister of Information and Parliamentary Affairs and Chairman of Committee of Private Members Bill and Resolutions. He was Chief Whip Opposition Parties, I welcome Dr. M.M. Hassan. Yeah, thank you, sir. And our chairman, AICTE, he has headed several important academic research and administrative positions at IIC Bangalore. Then, as a chairman of AICTE from 2015, he is a renowned architect of reforming technical education at AICTE. I welcome Dr. Anil Sastra. Welcome, sir. Thank you, sir. A backbone of BSS. He traveled a long way with the Swami Harinarayan Anandji to develop BSS. A think tank of BSS and nation. I welcome our Honorable Chairman, Dr. B.S. Balachandran. Thank you very much. And I welcome our General Secretary, Jayashree Kumar.
Yeah, let's start with the proceedings of the day today. I now invite Dr. Darli Koshi, Chief Mentor, Central Bharat Sevak Samaj, to deliver his address. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
A very good morning to all of you. Say good morning. Good morning. Yes. Such a great occasion that we are having the 75th Independence Day just 2 days away from now, 3 days. And we are also celebrating the 70th anniversary of BSS journey. We are also celebrating the International Youth Day, which is also August 12th. So all these three require me to extend our warm greetings to each one of you. Let us give a big round of applause for your presence. Dr. Anil Sastra, Chairman AICTE, Dr. K.K. Dwivedi, IAS, Joint Secretary of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. We have Sri M.M. Hassan, Sri B.S. Balachandran, the Chairman of BSS, Central BSS. Mr. Zach Moizon, the Vice Chairman of BSS, Jayashree Kumar, the Director General of BSS, and each one of you who have come from various parts of India today to be part of this very important occasion, a get-together of all the people who have worked hard to make this movement so important for the country's national development. So I want to, touch upon that we are so delighted with the presence of policy makers in this particular forum, because if you look at the country is moving towards convergence of general education, vocational education, and technical education. And the architect of technical education reforms, Dr. Anil Sastra, is here, which gives us the feeling that we are seeing a great moment of significance for the people who are associated with BSS, because you have been all part of various educational initiatives. And from him, we are going to hear what he thinks of the way forward for all the people who are associated with education. I had the occasion to call on Dr. K.K. Dwivedi at his office, and in few minutes, the kind of positivity which he giving suggestions for BSS to take forward. For example, he told me that it is possible for you to train people for international mobility. Take up Japanese, language training, for example. There is so much of potential. He said also reach the vulnerable and disadvantaged sections of the society. he also said that we can help you to have PMKVY for specialized areas. So Dr. Dwivedi opened a whole new chapter of importance to BSS to take it forward. So he is also here. And as you know, both his secretary, Rajesh Agarwal ji, was supposed to be also here. He had, COVID in the last couple of days, and we are very sorry to hear that. But despite that, he had a conversation with the Joint Secretary, and he was kind enough to entrust this whole conversation to be taken forward. So thank you, Rajesh Agarwal ji, for your initiative for BSS journey forward. Sri M.M. Hassan has been a pillar of strength for BSS over the years. And his counsel and his understanding of Kerala and neighboring states and from the national level, I think have contributed to the development of BSS for a long time. And we are very thankful to Mr. Hassan for being here today. And the gentlemen who are leading this forward, the management team, are really capable people, committed people, devoted people. And each one of you in different parts of India are serving the nation in this process of bringing the youth, converting the demographic advantage to a demographic dividend. So having said this, I am going to just say a few ideas which we are thinking about in terms of BSS journey forward. So let me talk about what is new which is happening in terms of BSS. Why we are having this kind of a get-together on the 70th anniversary. We believe that the organization's concept, as Chairman Mr. Balendran says, was almost 117 years old concept. However, 72 years, 70 years have gone by after having formed the organization. But in terms of its conceptual clarity, it has been there for more than 117 years. But every organization undergoes evolution. As human beings, we all undergo change. Organizations also undergo change. There were different periods of time in the history of BSS where different activities got predominance. But why is it that we are now talking more about vocational education? Vocational education is not new to BSS. It has been there for the last 4 decades. In fact, the government of India, as I was talking to our research colleague, Dr. Madhuri, from 1847 onwards, all the papers published by different organizations and reports have always talked about vocational education. However, the word skill was not discussed in the policy framework. The evolution from vocational education to focusing on skills came about in 2009, when the first National Skill Development Policy was announced. And then NSDC was set up, National Skill Development Agency was set up. Taking off from there, the new government in 2014 made a leap forward. They set up for the first time a Ministry for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. This requires a big clap, and that is what Mr. Dwivedi represents. Never in the history of our history, there has been a Ministry for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Why is it being set up? Why was it set up? We all say that we have 130 billion people in the country, 130 crores of people in the country, but the population of youth is almost 450 million. No other country has this kind of a youth population. 15 to 29 aged youth in this country with an average age of 29 is a very different ballgame from all other countries. We have a young population. But this youth-oriented countries, the pattern is not going to last forever. There is a study by the United Nations Population Fund which says that from 2005 to 2050 is this golden period of India where youth will come to the prominence in terms of the number from 15 to 29 years old. And if you take the larger working population, it can be from 15 to 59. But I'm just taking the youth population. But it also says from 2035, this entire pyramidal structure will become more like a kite as it happened in Japan. Aged society will start more and more. It may touch 20-25%, and the youth population will start tapering down from 2035. So that means that we have a 13-year window to really put in skill efforts into every part of the world, every part of the country. And through that, we reach also every part of the world, because Europe has graying population. They have two problems, degreening and graying. Degreening is childbirth coming down. Graying is the existing population becoming very old. They are not working population anymore. So they need people, like in Japan, they want people from India because it is an aging country. So with that kind of an understanding, when you look at what we are trying to do in the BSS journey from this 2022 to 2030, let us say, is to take a new understanding of the challenges in this country and look at two words in your mind. One word is very much associated to our 75th year of independence. Mahatma Gandhi had 4 founding tenets. One was truth, the other was non-violence, third was Sarvodaya, and the last was Satyagraha. The Sarvodaya said that upliftment of all to the people, that is universal upliftment. Deen Dayal Upadhyay ji and others later took one part of that, which is called Antyodaya, which is towards the last person you should be able to take it forward. This is actually an offshoot of Sarvodaya itself. So Sarvodaya and Antyodaya together envisage a society which is already contained in our constitution, which is economic and social justice, economic development and social justice. So if you take this Antyodaya as a principle, BSS is trying to look at how we can build two parts to it to make focus. One part is the school dropouts. If you look at the 5th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard dropouts of our country, you will be you will be surprised to see the staggering numbers. Something like 24%, even by a study which was published by ILO, says that they are dropouts from higher secondary level. But if you take the 5th standard, 9th standard dropout, though it is coming down, it is still staggering. And the other part is, which is called NEET, N-E-E-T. What is the full form? Not in education, not in employment, not in training. So what are they doing then? They are not in education, they are not pursuing any education, they are not doing any training, and they are not in employment. 62% of our youth can be categorized into this category. And the Human Development Report, published in 2020, had placed India at 129th rank out of 162 countries, telling that only 21% of the people who are in the working population have any kind of formal professional skill training. That means a country, if it has to progress, it is a collective of knowledge plus skills of that population. We have large population, but that population, if you do not empower them with skills, then it becomes a population which is like a non-performing asset. And more is the problem with women. The women labor participation ratio has come down from 21-22% to something like 15-16% because of the COVID. Now, in a country, any country you take, Korea, Japan, Cambodia, Vietnam, Bangladesh, the progress came when the participation of women in the labor went up to almost 50-60%. In Korea, it is 96%. Our women's participation in labor force has to be pushed up. So you have two focus areas which I told you. The Antyodaya concept of reaching the last person, which was Gandhiji's talisman. He said that look at the last poor person whom you met and take all the decisions. That is what he said, to wipe the tears of the last man. If you take that part as one overarching concept and then put this NEET and dropouts into that concept and the backwardness of women's labor participation, then you get a new concept, which is what we call as BASE. That is what Dwivedi Saab is going to launch today, which is the Bharat Antyodaya Skill Education, through which we want to reach all parts. It's a completely, mission-driven approach. Not necessarily that, somebody has to force you. It's a voluntary participation of people to take the message to wherever the youth are and reach them with skills. Take the example of handloom and handicrafts. Handloom has about 4,379 clusters. Handicrafts is about 590 clusters. Other traditional industries has also a large number of clusters. So we have about 6,78,000 villages in the country. The government has brought in Antyodaya in 2017-18 as part of the Rural Development Ministry to make a convergent program to reach every panchayat. And I understand that only 14,000 panchayats are still left. Other than that, the coverage has been phenomenal in the last few years. So there is certainly an Antyodaya concept working, but that has been mostly to reach rations or give a Nariga type of work and wages. But what we are telling is that the simple story, give a man a fish, he will feed for one day. But if you teach him to catch fish, you are feeding him for lifetime. So the gap which we found in the rural areas is that they are getting rations, they are getting a lot of other facilities from the government, but the skill gap is keeping them poor for a long time. So unless you equip them with the skills and improve their productivity and competencies on various fields, and including in the handloom and handicrafts and other traditional industries, which can be reformed, which was the second ring of agriculture. The concentric ring, if you take India's economy, in the middle is agriculture, which is about 50%, 55% of the population involved in agriculture. But the outer ring was the rural socio-economic clusters of handloom, handicrafts, coir, various types of things across India. But we allowed that ring to disintegrate, and languishing skills and disappearing skills have cost us a lot. To regain them is nearly impossible, whether it's Patola from Patan, or from Aligarh locks, or Anjar knives, or Firozabad bangles, or Moradabad metals. You name it, it goes on and on. Refer to Handmade in India, made by NID when I was the director. We brought in more than 600 clusters. We examined and made a directory. Why can't we, through the base program, also reach the craft clusters? So this is a revolution to a disruptive thinking, which is being brought about through this base concept. And we are very delighted. Government is very interested that everybody comes together to work. So it is not necessarily that only the government organizations have to work for this. We are all part and parcel of this movement. And Dwivedi Sahab is here to tell you more how he envisages the new skill hub with the Secretary, Government of India, and Dwivedi Sahab have brought in from January this year. He's a beacon of hope, of convergence. And we would like to work very closely with the skill hubs which are envisaged by the government. The second point is about Bhasrik, which is going to be launched by Dr. Anil Sastra, the chairman of AICT. What is Bhasrik? There is a lot of talk about what the youth should do. But there was a youth declaration in Abu Dhabi in 2017 by 300 youth who assembled and created a roadmap of what youth want. So the problem is that most often we prescribe what the youth should get, but we don't ask enough what you want. So we are focusing in Bhasrik to ask the people what they want and bring in their innate creativity to take forth with the skills so that they can develop new ideas. So Bhasrik will look at skill innovation. From supply-driven skilling to demand-driven skilling, which is industry-driven, and we were supposed to have a speaker earlier, but he was also stricken by COVID. So from supply-driven, which is the government's program taking the lowest denominator courses of 300, 400 hours, to demand-driven, what the industry wants, to innovation-driven transformation is what Bhasrik would get involved in. And we are very delighted an eminent world-class researcher like Dr. Anil Sastra, who is here with us today, is going to unveil our concept paper. I can't say that we have set up, we have just taken the first steps forward, but we have also other researchers joining hands with us, and we will take it forward. So this is the second, and to conclude, I would say that the entire world of skills is just opening up. The World Economic Forum has created a reskilling platform where I think 16 countries have joined. India has also joined recently for certain sectors. World Skills International, which was set up post-Second World War by Europe because of the acute shortage of skills in Europe. We have participated since 2007, the Government of India and the youth from here. The only medal which we have so far won, the gold medal, is for water technology. Do you mean to say that in jewelry, in pastry making, in bricklaying, in more than 52 skills on which they make competitions. Can't India, like the Commonwealth Games where they have performed so well, can't they win more medals? Are we so poor in skills? I have personally gone to Sao Paulo. I've gone to Abu Dhabi. I've gone to Kazan in Russia for the World Skills. Our students are doing well in those competitions. But the world standards have gone up so much. The skilling requires now intensive training. Just take the example of fashion technology. I was a founding chairperson of fashion management with New Delhi. I was very shocked that we had a 100-point difference in fashion technology competition between China, Switzerland, and other countries. It is now slowly catching up. But you imagine the world is having so much of skills. I have seen people sitting and finishing a whole wall in less than a couple of hours with the precision which you will expect for tile fixing. So these competitions in Sao Paulo, 500,000 students were brought by the government for children to see what this arena is about, how the competitions are taking place. That is what is called awareness creation of skills. So we have a long way to go, and I believe BSS is a people's movement. The strength of BSS is about participation of people without any force or coercion. So if they join, anything can be achieved. And you are all here, and you will take this message forward. You are most welcome to join us in this journey. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I now invite our Honorable Chairman, Sri B.S. Balachandran sir, to give his presidential address.
Namaskar. Vande Mataram. Dear friends, today we are celebrating our 70th anniversary. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, our nation is celebrating. Along with that historic event, we are celebrating our 70th anniversary. Our Chief Mentor, Dr. Darli Mankushi, mentioned about the formation of Bharat Samaj history. He mentioned about we are celebrating 70 years history, but we have the legacy that is 117 years history we have. That is, on 1905, Dr. Gopal Krishna Gokhale established Servants of India Society. We know the history of all freedom struggles in the world created more and more experience before the people. But in India, along with the struggle of independence, an organization formed, Servants of India Society, to develop Indians to work for the country. Servants of India Society raised a slogan, Hindi, Khadi, Harijan. That was the history of Indian freedom movement. Along with struggle, we done creative activities also. After independence, democratic government came into power. On 1952, the government of India, under the leadership of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, they thought about how we can build a new India, new Bharat. Then they thought, we want plan programs. They adopted plan programs from Soviet Union. They constituted planning commission for plan programs.
Then Planning Commission proposed, we can formulate plans, but we want to do the plans with the people's participation. How we can do the plan programs without people's involvement? For that, our leaders proposed, we want to convert that servants of India society into a new form. Then they thought servants, Sevak, India, Bharat, Samaj, society as Samaj. Then servants of India society renamed as Bharat Sevak Samaj. That's why Dr. Darli Mankushi here mentioned about the 117 years history of Bharat Sevak Samaj. The spirit of the servants of India society is leading by Bharat Sevak Samaj. That is the strength of Bharat Sevak Samaj. The Bharat Sevak Samaj was formed on the recommendation of Planning Commission, and it was approved by the Indian Parliament. Unanimously approved by the Indian Parliament. This is the only one organization which was formed by the unanimous decision of Indian Parliament. That is the history and strength of this Bharat Sevak Samaj. Bharat Sevak Samaj, in the plan programs, first and second plan programs, Bharat Sevak Samaj was the main implementing agency. Naturally, after then, several organizations came forward and took many activities in the country. Now, Bharat Sevak Samaj is mainly focusing on how to build our nation, how to strengthen our organization, how to strengthen our country. In that space, we saw that we want to equip our human resources with proper skill. That's why Bharat Sevak Samaj is raising a slogan, total employment training for total development. Total employment training for total development. With employment training only we can move forward. The unskilled people of the country is not the strength of our country. We want to skill them. We are addressing the people, those who are completed 10th standard and above. Last several years we are going through that activities. Recently our chief mentor, Dr. Darli Mankushi, Professor Darli Mankushi, he asked the Bharat Sevak Samaj people, do you see the people, those who are living in the gaons of the villages of India, those who are completed, not completed, 10th standard, 9th standard, 8th standard, even they were not attended in the school. Nearby 40 crores people are still in the country. We want to strengthen, we want to equip, we want to modernize, we want to upskill that people. That's why we are raising a new program, Bharat Antyodaya Skill Education Program. Here in your bag there is a book written by Dr. Darli Mankushi. You go through that. Run. Reskilling, upskilling and new skilling. We are raising that slogan, run, run, run. I am declaring in this 70th anniversary, very proudly, we got a manifesto from Dr. Darli Mankushi. That will be a changing guide of Indian youth. We want to work together for a better India, better society. Today, we are assembling here with very expectations. I am here conveying you to that 2-3 messages. One, we decided to reorganize Bharat Sevak Samaj branches in all states with the proper persons, with functioning persons. Those who are heading organization in the state or district as an ornamental model, it will not be allowed. That will be changed. We can include everybody. BSS is a lifelong working space of people. All over India, everywhere, the organization is going to restructuring. And we have those who are interested to undertake the leadership of the Bharat Sevak Samaj in the state, those who want to take more responsibilities, you can meet our office bearers, and you can express your willingness. Certainly, that will be counted. And another thing, we have 6 functional bodies, you know. One, Bharat Yuvak Samaj, for the youth of the country. Bharat Yuvak Samaj. That is also be reconstituting. And another thing, Bharat Karshak Samaj. That is a Bharat Samaj functional body, Bharat Karshak Samaj. Dr. Koshi again and again he mentioned about along with the skill development, agriculture is the main source of skill development program. Bharat Karshak Samaj is our functional body, and now we are proposing an BSS Agri School. We want to establish all over India BSS Agri School with the participation of agriculturists, scientists and technocrats. Everybody who are joining with this movement are all welcome to that activities. BSS Agri School in every nook and corner of the country. The productivity we want to increase when comparing with the other countries of the world, Israel, Japan, so many areas we can see. In India, according to the statistics, with 100 hectares, we are promoting only 40-45 number of beneficiaries. But in Israel, that is neighbor about 375. Japan, that is 260. If in India, we are doubling that from 30 to 60 or other 40 to 80, it will reduce our unemployment in a very big way. That's why, to increase our productivity and generate more employment, Bharat Samaj is proposing, along with Bharat Karshak Samaj activities, BSS Agri School. I am proposing my BSS colleagues to undertake. This is a very big activity for the villages of Indian people that we want to undertake in a very serious manner. And other thing, Bharat Sevak, Bharat Sainik Welfare Council. You know, we are all keeping well in our house. Our Sainik people are protecting our country. They are living without sleeping for us. After the retirement of Sainik people and their families is a very big issue in the country. We want to care them. We want to take initiatives for the welfare of the Sainik people. That is also very crucial activities of our country. And another thing, BSS Women's Council. When Bharati Samaj was established in that time, women folk of the country were not very active in forefront of the society. But now, everywhere we can see the women folk is in forefront of the society. Bharat Women's Council is a functional body of Bharatiya Samaj. Mahila Samajams, several organizations are there. But Dr. Koshi recently saying, you see the skilled women people are very low in the country. Very low. We want to equip, we want to train them, we want to let them into a new arena. That is another proposal. And that another thing, Bharat Students Movement. The students, those who are studying, they are initiating several initiatives, several activities. We want attend the students' activities and create the activities, new thinking models from the students' level. We want to expect and we want to give opportunities to them. Bharat Students Movement is another organization. And last one is Bharat Bal Vikas Mandal. Then Anganwadi movement in India. It was started by late Prime Minister Srimati Indira Gandhi. Srimati Indira Gandhi was the first member of Bharatiya Samaj. She was very much interested to undertake BSS nurseries. BSS promoted lot of nursery schools in the country. Because that is our future. To equip our kids in a very careful way. For that, in India, Government of India initiated to start Anganwadis everywhere. We want to intervene in that matter. We want to modernize that Anganwadi with modern techniques and modern methodology. That will be a more responsibilities of Bharat people in the country. These are the activities we want to reorganize and we want to strengthen that system. Dr. Darlivan Koshi presented 2 programs. That is one, Bharat Antyodaya skill education base. That is our mantra. Base. For that, run. Reskilling, upskilling, new skilling. Reskilling, upskilling and new skilling. Run. And another thing he said, Barsik, Bharat Skill Innovation Research Center. Bharat Skill Innovation Research Center. These type of programs are the coming programs of Bharat Samaj. Coming decade will be a very crucial decade for our organization. I think you people can do a lot of things. I know we are here, those who are attended here, you people are self-dedicated, self-devoted people are here. They are the real Bharat Sevak. The real Bharat Sevak people are assembled here. We want to build a new nation to become number 1 in the world. For that, our chief mentor, Professor Darlivan Koshi, he is with us, he is leading us, he is proposing a manifesto. I feel, again and again I am saying about Dr. Darlivan Koshi. Because he inspired us more, he inspired. I am very familiar with him last 50 years, 50 years I know him. He inspired us more and more. That's why. This is a very big opportunity to meet him and you people, discuss. We want to strengthen Bharat Samaj and the activities of nation building process. We can move forward. Thanking you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Chairman, for this inspirational speech. It gives lots of hope. Yeah, moving forward, I feel all the representatives from all the states would have heard it to the core, and please accept it the maximum, because all he addressed was the real issues of India. Okay, now I go on to the next occasion, that is the inaugural address and launch of the BASE program by revealing the BSS BASE brochure, and this is done none other than by Ms. Dr. K.K. Dwivedi, IAS, Joint Secretary, MSDE, Government of India. Thank you.
There will be launch of my address?
After launch or before that? We'll launch it? Yeah.
Launch it, yeah.
Base, yeah. Everybody has it in their Everybody will be having the same thing in the bags which is given to you. Please go through. We are now doing another releasing of Basrik. That is done by Dr. Anil Sastra, Chairman, AICTE. That was well said, actually.
Thank you. Respected Chairman of Central Bharat Sevak Samaj, dignitaries on the dais, all the invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by congratulating the Bharat Sevak Samaj for completing 7 decades of glorious and exceptional service in various sectors, right from agriculture to modern healthcare worker training. I am happy to know that on the 70th anniversary of BSS, they are reinforcing the efforts towards occasional education and training. During my interaction with Dr. Koshi, I was informed that BSS has completed training of almost 2 million youth in close to 4,000 trades across the country during last 70 years. I am sure that these numbers will further increase significantly after launch of Bharat Antyodaya Skill Education Program. As we celebrate the 75th year of independence to create Atmanirbhar Bharat for future, all eyes are set on the young workforce to reap the demographic dividend in the country. As you know, by 2030, India will be the largest and youngest workforce, as more than half of its population, say more than 67%, will be below the age of 25 years. However, the labor force participation rate in India has not been synchronous to the workforce availability rate. This anomalous situation demands an urgent recalibration of our skilling strategy and other platforms. In 2015, Government of India, understanding the importance of skilling and workforce mobility, embarked on a very ambitious program, unprecedented in scale, to skill the youth of the country. And also this new ministry was formed, NSDC was initiated, and sector skill councils were formed. A lot of infrastructure institutions were created to achieve these targets and vision. Under Skill India mission, as of now, 20 central ministries of Government of India are implementing more than 40 skilling programs to empower the youth of the nation. Further, with active support of state government, Skill India mission has been successful in creating an enabling skills ecosystem across the country. Convergence with other ministries is also envisaged to harmonize the skilling activities across the country. Ministry of Skill has established a strong network of training institutes and skilling infrastructure across the country, including more than 14,000 ITI, more than 700 Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Kendra, and large number of Jan Shikshan Sansthan. Since 2014, Skill Ministry has trained more than 3.9 crore youth through industrial training institutes and through different skilling program and schemes. Our ministry has already taken various measures for onboarding of industries in the skilling ecosystem. Industry-driven 37 sector skill councils have been established, and dual system of training in industry as well as in ITIs has already been initiated and introduced. A state-of-the-art digital backbone is being established in support the skill development initiative through Skill India Portal 2.0. Undoubtedly, Skilling and entrepreneurship are being integrated with regular education, and now a new education policy has addressed the need to integrate vocational skills and education. To integrate vocational education with school education, the ministry has piloted Skill Hub initiative in country through government school, government colleges, and other government educational institutions. Integrating digital skilling and entrepreneurship training will also enable self-employment, talent utilization of the aspirational India. Employability skills, including entrepreneurship, has been embedded in National Skill Qualification Framework courses. Skill India International Initiative has also been initiated to make India the skill capital of the world. Strategic memorandum of understanding have been signed with close to 11 countries towards this purpose. Let me conclude by extending my best wishes to all the success to BSS and its future endeavors. Skill Ministry will be happy to explore modes to collaborate with BSS to further strengthen the skilling ecosystem across the country and empower the Indian youth to be more skilled and employable. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, I invite Dr. Anil Sastra sir to give his keynote address.
Namaskar, good morning to all of you. Sri B.S. Balachandran, Chairman of CBSS, our guest who has come here from the Skill Ministry, Dr. K.K. Dwivedi, Joint Secretary, MSDE, Sri Saig Mohsen, Vice Chairman, CBSS, Sri M.M. Hassan, former Minister and Chairman, Jayashree Microfinance Limited, Darli Koshi, who has been a mentor, who has done a splendid job of explaining about what all things are happening, and Madam Jaya Sri Kumar, and all the delegates who have come from different parts of the country, from different units of BSS. The very fact that the name Bharat, Sevak, Samaj, I was looking at it, it contains Bharat, the India. We'll need to take this country forward. Development of this country is the mission. Sevak, we are Sevaks. We want to serve the country, and that spirit of service is behind this. And it is a Samaj, society. So the entire society needs to be galvanized in order to make the development of this country and formally come into existence 70 years ago, but otherwise in history of 170 years. And we have had independence for the last 75 years. We are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav. During such a juncture, and in the last 8 years, the emphasis on skill is gaining importance. There has been a special Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, which is so important for a country with a history of several thousand years. We all talk about Germany, South Korea, Australia. They are having people with more than 80% skilled manpower, 90% skilled manpower, and so on. And in our country, we don't have enough skilled manpower. It is only hovering around 20% itself. But look at our ancient times. Every village was skilled. Every individual was skilled. Because of some type of education which came in, and we started losing base in terms of skilling of our manpower, and because of the industrial revolution, large-scale production started, many of our skills lost. And that's why re-energizing this is very, very important, and Bharat Sevak Samaj has been doing wonderfully well. As Koshi mentioned in the beginning, all variety of things that are required to be done, he elaborated, and then whether it is Ministry of Skill, whether it is Ministry of Education, whether it is BSS, we need to work together. And most important part is, why are we segregating education from skills? Although there are two different ministries, someday it should merge, because every individual who gets education must also have some skills. Without skills, education is useless. And without education, skills are also useless, because they may not be able to achieve their best performance if they are not educated. They may get cheated, and therefore both education and skills are as important for each individual in the country, and that's why when they talk about Sarvodaya of Mahatma Gandhiji was talked about, or the Antyodaya of the present government, which is talking about going to the last man in the village in a tribal area also to be empowered by way of not only education, by skills, so that they are employable, they are entrepreneurial, and they contribute to the development of the economy of the nation. It is 1.35 billion population, it's not small. And the youth in the age group of 15 to 29, who are the demographic dividend creators, if you don't support them, if you don't mentor them, if you don't give them that right kind of education along with skills, I think they will not be able to contribute to the economy of the country. And that's why this whole initiative of BSS is very important. Just now, in my hands, they asked me to release this voucher of BHASRIC, Bharat Skill Research and Innovation Center. And very exciting that we all talk about research, we all talk about innovation in the higher education system, and mostly in the domain of science, technology, medicine. Research has great importance, certainly importance, because the new technologies which get emerged, the applications of that for the society are very important and significant for the jobs, job creation, and also for the development of economy, which we are talking about 5 trillion now immediately, and then 10 trillion economy. Those will certainly serve a big purpose. But without skills it's not possible, and that's why should there not be research in providing skill sets? And I think it's a wonderful idea that research need not be only in high-end scientific research, but it can also be in the domain of skills. How these skills can be imparted effectively, there has been no research made because the numbers are so large. We don't have so many trained teachers, faculty members, and therefore research in doing all of this as to effectively do it at a low cost, affordable cost is also very, very important. I remember a few years ago, there was a setup which was developed for welding. We all know that welding requires very high-end skills, and also it requires a lot of input in terms of money, whether it is the welding rod, the welding gun, and then the atmosphere you require to cover it. Instead of that, by creating a virtual welding machine where by using the technique of using the principles of electricity and the resistance, etc., you have a long wire and you create a gun which is of the same type while handling, but you move it, and the distance between the rod and the metal where it is welded has to be just about 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter. If it is more, the spark gets extinguished. If you got close, then also get extinguished. And therefore, that talent you require to acquire, and for that, if you start moving it on a virtual setup where there is no expenditure involved, one-time expenditure, and then you can train thousands of them. But the actual welding, anyway, they have to be trained. And the same thing is happening in terms of whether it is pilot training for aircraft, whether it is in terms of ships, whether it is in terms of simulators. They are all commonplace today. And therefore, research in creating such simulators in almost all the domains of skilling are important. Thereby, from place to place, in every place, the skill can be provided. That is an initial skill. Of course, they will have to work on the actual machine, where the tools are required to be used. Subsequently, our 80% of the cost can reduce, and we can reach out to more number of people through this use of technology. And that is what this center is required to do. There is a mention of artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, which are all emerging areas of technology. And unless these technologies are also made use of in order to understand the weaknesses of the people where they lack, and then how do you overcome them, there will not be any use of using the tools like AI. And my request is AICT, which handles the technical institutions, about 3,000 plus engineering colleges, another 2,500 polytechnics. They have excellent workshops, laboratories. These facilities must be made use of by every citizen of the country, and BSS is most welcome to make use of these facilities. On our own, we have started advocating that there are children who get off the education sector at the 5th standard, at the 8th standard, 10th standard, 12th standard, and therefore our gross enrollment ratio, although in the school education is now near more than 95%, when it comes to 5th standard, it gets down, again goes down, and it is only 27% in the higher education. So there is a moral responsibility on all the higher education institutions, their management, the faculty members, that they need to train those unfortunate people who had to leave the schools in between, 5th, 8th, 10th. And therefore, we have a scheme called Karma, where any student who has left the school from the nearby region, please pick them up. Give them the skill training in your institutions so that they do not remain idle. You talked about NEET. That is, not in education, not in employment, and not in training. If not giving employment, not education, at least give training. And that's what I want our institutions to take forward, give training to our students from their colleges. Not only that, in their own college also, students who are finding difficulty in undertaking the education which they have taken up, maybe the courses which are there, they came in because of the pressure of the parents, peers, and they are not fitting well, but their interest lies somewhere else. Why can't we give them those skills so that they may score less marks in their normal curriculum but do well in the skill domain? This is another area under Karma which we are doing. The third area is, right from childhood, we want that children should be aware of the various types of skills which are possible, where employment is possible, what are the opportunities that are possible. So each college faculty and also senior students should go to the nearby schools and do the awareness campaign. Another thing which Chairman said was about awareness. There is a lack of awareness amongst our students, and that's why there is a big rush to go to either engineering college or medical college. But there are a huge number of opportunities that exist in the domain of job, and therefore, how do you create that interest on one side? And secondly, once we start doing skilling from the school education, which is talked about in the National Education Policy from the 6th standard onwards, for the next 6 years till they become 12th standard, at least 2-3 skills they should learn. It has two advantages. They will become employable right at the time of 12th standard passing. And secondly, they will all realize the difficulties, the hard work that is involved in the skilling, that involves dignity of labor also is going to be trained. I think these are very important initiatives of the government which have been going on. My best wishes for the 70th year celebration of the Central Bharat Sevak Samaj. There are many challenges ahead, but when there are challenges, they give us opportunities. Let us make use of this as opportunities and go ahead, serve the society, सेवक समाज. तो हम समाज को ऐसा निर्माण करेंगे जिससे हमारी सेवा के वजह से भारत एक बहुत ही उत्कृष्ट देश बन के दुनिया के सबसे बेहतरीन देशों में से बने जाएगा. नमस्कार.
Thank you so much, sir, for the insights and guidance given. And next we go on for the special address from the former Minister, M.M. Hassan, sir, the Chairman, Gentry Microfinance Limited. Release, pehle karna hai? Sir is now releasing the runway, the skill manifesto of BSS.
Yeah, no, we could have done it. I also missed it.
Namaste, all of you. Honorable President of this session, my esteemed friend, Shri B.S. Balachandran, Chairman of Central Bharat Sevak Samaj, Honorable Joint Secretary of Government of India, Dr. K.K. Dwivedi, IAS, Honorable Chairman, AICT, Dr. Anil Sastra, my best friend, Dr. Darli Uman Koshi, Chief Mentor of Central Bharat Sevak Samaj, Shri Sevak Wilson, Vice Chairman of Central Bharat Sevak Samaj, and Mrs. Jaya Srikumar, General Secretary, Central Bharat Sevak Samaj. I consider this as a privilege, honor to me to participate and speak this 70th anniversary celebration of Bharat Sevak Samaj. I have been associating with Bharat Sevak Samaj for the last 3 decades. At the time when our nation celebrates 75th year, Bharat Sevak Samaj, the organization, initially set up to undertake with people's participation the development programs formulated by the government is celebrating 70th birthday, and it is a matter of pride and happiness. With the participation of public, BSS had succeeded popularizing all its development programs and to reap unparalleled success out of it. If one looks at the major challenge faced by our nation is nothing other than unemployment and lack of productivity. Here comes the importance of the total employment, training for total development. The major programs coined and undertaken by BSS, people with skill knowledge, will accelerate the momentum of the society. We have to formulate a system where all people, irrespective of their age, work for national development in one way or other. BSS always motivate people to enter into any kind of creative work instead of wasting their time idly. If a person has skill expertise, the change he can bring to himself and to the society is unimaginable. If we are able to understand this difference, we can be aware of the essentially of each one engaging in one job or other. Our main mission should be to observe the society even at the minute angle level, evaluate and assess the problem and to arrive at solution. If I take a look on my experience with the microfinance sector, people always raise the demand to have small and medium loans for educational purpose. While we are talking about the education, be it skill, vocational or any other kind, it is crucial that lack of fund really hindered the future of the individuals earning for a living. In this regard, people always expect small and medium loans from financial institutions. But it is a regretful fact that our financial institutions, most of the times, show a negative attitude to the aspiring students. Assurance from the financial institutions is highly essential for the students to carry on with their studies, and it is the duty of all concerned to ensure that financial institutions never lets down the hope of an individual by hesitating financial support. Equally important is the case of skill training to women and to generate employment opportunities to them. It is an alarming fact that many are looking job in the organized sector, mainly after COVID-19. Similarly, small shops are getting closed down, and even the opportunity for daily wage jobs are reducing. All these factors poses the importance of skill vocational training. Hence, it is one of the great importance that we all should try our level best to promote skill vocational training programs undertaken by Bharat Sevak Samaj with a view to enhance the socio-economic status of the society. With these words, let me conclude. I wish all success in this historical conference. Thanking you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Mrs. Jayashree Kumar, General Secretary, CBSS, to convey the vote of thanks.
Namaste. Respected Chairman, Central BSS, Sri Balachandra sir. Respected Joint Secretary, MSD, Dr. K.K. Dwivedi, IAS sir. Respected Chief Mentor, BSS, Dr. Darli Uman Koshi sir. Respected Chairman, Janasri Microfinance Limited, Sri M.M. Hassan sir. And my dear friends, other dignitaries of the stage, and also the members from BSS fraternity. Now we are moving on to the last stage of the inaugural session of 70th year celebration of Bharat Sevak Samaj. This celebration is highly historical just because of 2-3 things. The first is nation is celebrating its 75th and Independence Day. And the thing is that majority of the leaders who were behind the Independence Day celebration, independence struggle are the part of Bharat Sevak Samaj in the later stage. And it is a matter of great pride and privilege that BSS is celebrating the 70th year in this auspicious time of 75th year of India's independence. And the other 2-3 factors, actually we launched the BASE program here. BASE program, actually the Chief Mentor of Bharat Sevak Samaj, Dr. Darli Uman Koshi, as chairman speaking in the inaugural session, he only recalled about the people who are specialized under need, that is not in employment, not in education, not in training. So we have to focus on these people for getting India developed to a great extent. So we released the BASE program. The BASE program, it was the vision of Mahatma Gandhi's Sarvodaya program through Antyodaya, development of BASE people to the development of the nation. So that program is released in the 70th anniversary celebration of Bharat Sevak Samaj, and it is a program which we are looking with high aspirations and it's a dream project of Bharat Sevak Samaj in the 70th year of Bharat Sevak Samaj. That is highly a commendable program coined by Dr. Darli Uman Koshi as well as the Bharat Sevak Samaj management team. So we have placed this program before you, and it's a matter of pride that all will participate in this program as usual. And the next is a program of BASRIC. The launch of BASRIC was here. BASRIC means it's a Bharat Skill Research and Innovation Center. Actually, the youth have to be skilled. Even though there is education, maybe, as Anil Sastra sir is saying, education and skill should go together. So that program also BSS has launched in this 70th year. And to the Joint Secretary of Ministry of Skill Development, I have to say that Bharat Sevak Samaj is running Janshisham Sansthan in Kottayam. BSS is the parent body of Janshisham Sansthan in Kottayam, Kerala. So in the year 2000 we started Bharat Sevak Samaj under Bharat Sevak Samaj, Janshisham Sansthan in Kottayam. But I know the developments we are having through the skill ministry, because every day we are getting a lot of initiatives from the skill ministry, and I know you are the brain behind the skill ministry's initiatives. So it's a matter of great pride that we have the joint secretary for this inaugural session. So the 2 important programs we have launched here, and the thing is that we know BSS has completed 17 years of hope for the youth, and all the programs are being coined and implemented through the citizen or the common citizens of India. So as usual, we are calling the support and cooperation from all who are associated with Bharat Sevak Samaj, and not only associated with Bharat Sevak Samaj, who are dreaming for the development of the country, we are calling the interest from your side to join with Bharat Sevak Samaj. We are always welcoming everyone without caste, religion, creed, gender or anything. Without any barriers, anyone can join Bharat Sevak Samaj for visualizing and finalizing this program. Now, I'll move to the next, my actual job. The inaugural session of the 70th celebration of Bharat Sevak Samaj was presided over by Dr. B.S. Balachandran sir, the chairman of Central Bharat Sevak Samaj. We all know he is the visionary and the ideology behind Bharat Sevak Samaj. He is a strong pillar. We don't know the pillar means everywhere he is the pillar. So it's not a single pillar or double pillar. Around us he is the pillar. So he is the stronghold behind Bharat Sevak Samaj. All the programs of Bharat Sevak Samaj, since he took over the charge as General Secretary of Kerala Pradesh and later as General Secretary of Central Bharat Sevak Samaj and now as Chairman of Central Bharat Sevak Samaj, all the programs are his ideas and his vision, and the teamwork he is maintaining with all the team members of Bharat Sevak Samaj. We do believe that with his leadership, we can move to greater further steps. So I extend my sincere vote of thanks to Valendra sir. K.K. Dwivedi sir, IAS, is the Joint Secretary of Ministry of Skill Development. So he has extended all the support from the Skill Ministry. As I said in the beginning, Skill Ministry is coming up with a lot of innovative programs. Being involved with the Generation Sansthan, I know what all the programs being implemented through Skill Ministry day by day. So all the programs are innovative programs, and BSI has to take part in all these programs as a skill institution. So he has extended all the support from the Skill Ministry. Thank you very much, sir, for attending this program, inaugurating. Dr. Anil Sastra, the technocrat behind the AICTE, he has delivered a very good speech, and he also extended the support, technical support to Bharat Sevak Samaj in all his all the programs. He opened up the labs in engineering colleges and polytechnics for Bharat Sevak Samaj and its students. So I sincerely extend my vote of thanks to him on his absence. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Darli Uman Koshi, sir, as everyone mentioned in their individual speeches, he is the present inspiration behind Bharat Sevak Samaj to move to all these new initiatives, because with the vision he has over the past experience of 40 years in the designing field and skill field, I don't know what all imaginations and ideas he has. So we have to put all these ideas together to build up a new India. So being with Bharat Sevak Samaj is a great blessing for us, and it's a, I don't know how to thank you, and sincere thanks to you, sir. Sri M.M. Hassan, sir, he is always with Bharat Sevak Samaj, and he is the guiding force behind our various programs at Kerala level and also in national level. We extend our gratitude to M.M. Hassan, sir, for giving the special address. Sri S.A.G. Moisen, he is the Vice Chairman of Central Bharat Sevak Samaj, and he extended the warm welcome address. Thank you very much, Sri S.A.G. Moisen. And finally, and not the last, I am extending the thanks to all the people who are assembled here. I know all of you are associated with Bharat Sevak Samaj in one way or other. Otherwise, all of you are maybe some of you are intending to attend to associate with Bharat Sevak Samaj. So all are welcome, and expressing my great gratitude to all of you for making this program a grand success. Thanking you all once again. Jai Hind.
We must thank Jayashree, who has got 28 years with Bharat Sevak.
Yeah, definitely. With this, we are ending the first session, and we'll take a short break for 10 minutes. Tea has been arranged outside. You all have to go and have a refreshment and come back in 10 minutes. Thank you for the next session.